calls it that.
I feel like they call it the DAC.
The Dakowitz. Well, no, because there's other defense advisory committees. They're not the only one. I was just trying to figure out. Are you doing the Trump dance?
I'm dancing, yeah. We are back to the All Angles podcast. We're gonna be back on our normal schedule as best as possible. I've learned something that I cannot allow myself in the summers to do less. I don't know if I said it on here last time, but I was telling some people during hockey season, I'm way busier.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I got this every day, this day, this, that day. I'm like, here's my day off. I'm gonna go do a road trip and I'm gonna stay busy. And I think I did talk about it here because I was talking about how, like, back from, you remember what it's like being an athlete, you're busy every day. And so even when you get older, your brain is still ready for that. So this summer I didn't have hockey. I didn't go on my big trip or anything like that. And I just got like a slug. So now that I'm busy again, my brain's like, cool, let's be busy.
Yeah.
And I just get more and more tired. And I got my first farmer's tan of the year a couple days away from October because I had a outside thing today where for the hockey team, but yeah, it was hot and I get home and I'm exhausted, but I'm like, all right. And then I kind of lay down for a second. I get up, I'm like, let's do this. And it's weird how my body's like, let's stay busy forever.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. And that's why this week will be awesome, but also a little odd because it's our first off weekend of the year. We've gone 4 straight weekends with games. And because of what's going on at the rink, since you decided to give it away last episode, you prick, they are starting the process of putting the pink ice in.
Pink ice? I had no idea that was happening.
Shut the hell.
I laughed so hard when I watched that back, by the way. I could see the moment my brain went, uh-oh.
Well, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter to me, but the only reason I only hesitated is because it's been so up and down whether or not they were going to do it. So I didn't want to all of a sudden come out and say, yep, it's happening. And then 24 hours later, knowing how things run around here, it's not happening. But
we got to be careful, Cookie. We got tens of people that watch this show.
I know. I mean, it's crazy how many people are watching this show. And
it could be pandemonium.
Whew, can't have that. But no, so yeah, we have our first off weekend coming up. We only have 2 practices this week because they're having to take the ice down to not all the way out, but shave it down enough to paint and then rebuild. So it'll be a lighter week, which I am very, very ready for because it's been nonstop since we got going.
Yeah, we had training camp, media day. I've had a couple off ice things, and then last Thursday I had to go to Hershey for the day for our first quote unquote home preseason game. I didn't realize the team hasn't played in Hershey in 19 years. And so, but yeah, we had that.
I don't know why that would be a huge surprise. I mean, I get it.
Well, NHL teams will every so often play a preseason game at their farm team place.
Yeah.
Like my first year at Bridgeport, Rangers and Islanders played in Bridgeport, which that was pretty cool because that was like the first time I ever shot an NHL game, period. So that was fun to do. And then, but yeah, so it's not sports day, but yeah. And I'm 100%. I just still have this stupid cough.
Yeah. Well,
it's annoying.
The Marlboro Reds down and the vape and all that. Yeah.
You know me, man.
Yeah, Camel no filters, put them down.
Yeah. Actually, I've just been rolling them up myself now.
Don't let that cartoon Camel fool you. They're not for kids.
Filters, man. That is amateur hour. I am here for direct.
Filters are for wimps. By the way, we don't smoke.
Yeah. There's probably not 2 people that are even more against it.
Yeah, exactly.
But today, so we're getting back into it. There's some stuff. I know a little bit about what's going on, but Cookie's going to take the reins today. I'm going to put an idea out there. I actually talked to Kim on the phone, and I had an idea after she told me something. We'll get into that when we get to that part of everything. But America just loves headlines.
Yeah, we're sadly very good at it for all the wrong reasons, whether it's sports related, like it was this weekend with the Ryder Cup and the antics of the crowd up there, or what we're going to talk about first here, which is, well, let me start this way, and I'm pulling some stuff up on my computer here just because there's a lot happening. So what is this? It's Sunday night. Yesterday, so Saturday, Becky, who everybody, all 12 of you that watch our show.
Actually, that episode has been still growing.
It has, yeah. In fact,
I think what you're about to get into is why.
Yeah. We're up to 183 views on that one now. I'm just looking at it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Probably since she reposted it, which is what I'm getting into right now. So Becky, for those that don't remember, Becky was the amazing guest we had on originally. John knows her. You know her through the MS community, which is obviously a big part of our shows already so far is the MS community. As always, shout out to Adam and Julie and everybody else. But Becky was also the one who came on to talk about being in 28 years ago, a high school student at Heath High School in Paducah, Kentucky, when the first kind of major nationally covered school shooting took place, and her best friend was one of those killed. And yesterday was...
Which is crazy because I've known about it, but I never really knew about it until how she told the story. So.
Yeah, I can't honestly sit here and tell you I knew about it.
I only knew about it through her. I didn't know. I don't remember it from news.
Yeah. I think for most people, and this is kind of what we talked about with her, I think for most people, the first one anybody ever thinks of is Columbine.
Because it was on TV.
It was live. Like, yeah, we're watching as it's happening. The Paducah thing was kind of after the fact, only, by hours, but it wasn't like we didn't have the live coverage. There weren't the helicopters overhead, getting shots as students are running out of the school and things like that. But so yesterday, her friend Casey, who was one of the victims killed, yesterday was Casey's birthday. So Becky reposted our podcast, had a really...
and yesterday when we're recording, by the way, I know everybody knows that.
Yeah, so Saturday, the September 27th. So, and wrote a nice, emotional, obviously, and heartfelt post to go along with resharing the podcast. And a lot of people have commented on it. A lot of people have reacted to it. And then, like I said, the views on that one have gone up, I'm sure, because of it, because now a lot of people in her life are seeing it again. And actually,
by the way, to cut you off real quick, Cookie, Becky, the thank you for entrusting us.
Yeah.
To share that with, because I know you've never talked about it. It's never been something you've gone out and mentioned anything of. So it's an important story. It's traumatic for you, obviously, but it's an important story. So we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and just a little, to be a little selfish on pat on the back for us, it means a lot that, we were the ones that able to kind of help her tell that story. It's just this, tiny podcast. We're just trying to get going here. She was episode 20 or whatever it was. I don't even remember off the top of my head. This is 27, I think we're doing now. Something like that. But yeah, it meant a lot that she was willing to tell her story with us, and that was pretty cool. And as it turned out, and I haven't told her this, and maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if you even mentioned it to her yet, because I told you what was going on, the kind of weird connection I have to this now.
No, I keep forgetting to say that to her, actually.
Yeah, and I'd hesitated whether or not to bring it, but I'll do it anyways. It's so strange, the small world we live in. We talk about it all the time in hockey, but it's really just in anything. And my now former boss, he still works at Drew University. He's ironically the shotgun sports coach, Kevin Boyer. Great. He's just a great human being. He was the athletic director for non-NCAA sports for the first couple of years. Jeremy and I were there, and now he's just doing the coaching. And he reached out to me and said, I got a wild story for you. I'm like, oh, okay. Turns out one of his freshman shooters for the shotgun team is from Paducah, Kentucky. And instantly kind of flags went up going, okay, interesting. Because I know Kevin's one of the people that will watch our episodes, especially because of his connection with MS. His wife is an MS warrior as well. So And he mentioned that one of his shooters, again, a freshman from Paducah, it was his, everybody's gonna understand why I've been hesitant to bring this up, but it was his grandfather's gun that was stolen and used in the shooting.
It's unreal.
I mean, I was floored when he told me, but it was stolen from the house. I think that was always part of the story, that it was a stolen gun and this and that. Yeah. But that also means that this young man who's at Drury University now, where I am, it's his father, who was also apparently good friends with the shooter, a student at Heath High School, 100% probably knows Becky, and Becky knows him. I don't know his name, and I wouldn't probably say it here right now anyway. But I could figure out the last name just from the son, but or grandson, son, all of the above. But yeah, just a small world there, how that all played out, and I was just floored when Kevin.
That's far more small world than most of the hockey stuff we ever brought.
Yeah,
that's real.
Unbelievable how that came about, and how he just, and Kevin hadn't even listened to the whole thing yet. He'd only listened the first few minutes before he realized that, and immediately reached out. He actually tried to call me when I was on the ice at practice, but I called him back as soon as it was over, because his text message made me think it was something important, school related or team related, that I needed to know about. Sure enough, it was this. So still important and just mind boggling. But anyway, so that's kind of the long story leading into, as I'm sure everybody's heard today. Well, as I told John as we were leading into this, and that it still might be a part of the original, excuse me, especially the way we do our intros, it might still be in the intro, but I'll say it again. Someone posted on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, earlier, and I confirmed all of this too. And as I told John, I think a lot of people would agree there's probably more than just on this list. But within the last 36 hours, and this was as of 4 hours ago, 4 people were shot on the side of the highway in Alexandria, Louisiana. 8 people were shot. This is one of the ones that people have probably heard of. 8 people were shot. 3 are dead in Southport, North Carolina, mostly tourists, by a guy that tried to escape on a boat, but he was caught by the Coast Guard pretty quick. 4 people shot in a parking lot in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then the one that just happened, and there's more after this, but I won't get into those because there's a lot happening. But the one that just happened that kind of made me think this is where we need to go today. 10 people shot, and as of 4 hours ago when he posted, it said 1 was killed. It's actually 2 as of the last update. There's supposed to be another update as we're recording this in 8 minutes, actually. But 10 people shot, 2 killed in Grand Blanc, Michigan, including a child. Now, the way he wrote that, I don't know if a child was one of the ones killed or just shot. And at a church, at a Mormon church in Michigan. And I go back to.
Did they set the church on fire too? Because I remember seeing a thing.
Church on fire. So what happened, just kind of a short story here, is he rammed his big old pickup truck into the side of the church. Well, really the front, but there's not the way, and people have probably seen it by now, the way the church is set up, the actual front of it, it kind of comes out and there's just a wall. It's not a door. The doors are kind of around to the side. So it's just a door in the front with a window above, and he rammed straight into the front of it and took the wall out. So, and the reports I've heard, again, I will say this as I don't have full confirmation, but the reports I've heard is that people heard and probably felt and maybe even saw this truck run into the building and thought someone was in trouble, went out to help. He walked out and opened fire. And open fire.
But just goes to show you that, like, again, even with everything going on nearly every day now, people see an accident and people's instinct is to help.
To help.
And then they're the ones that are like just the most unfortunate of places.
It's just it's the real shitty scenario, and I'll get more into this too, but we'll go back to the story. But you made me think of something that my mom has told me since I was able to drive. And I'm going to be 50 in a few months. So this is a long time. She's been telling me this. It still does to this day. Is
he remembers.
Shut up. She will tell me, and it's a horrible thing to say, but I know where she's coming from, but it's not in my nature not to do this, but she'll tell me not to stop and help someone on the side of the road. because you don't know. I mean, forget just the pure first danger of being on the side of a highway, and that's dangerous in and of itself. But you don't know what that person's up to. May not have a problem at all.
But and that's the thing is, like, you don't think about that. You think to help. Like, I've stopped numerous times to help people.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
you know what though? Nobody stopped to help us when we were moving to New Mexico.
No. No. And I don't remember. I don't think you were. If you were with us, the Players Edge camp that time we came back and we blew a tire on the trailer in the middle of, like, out in the middle of the panhandle of Texas.
No.
Middle of nowhere. But I understand why she says that, where she's coming from. But it's, at the same time, it's a sad state of affairs because, like you said, the first instinct for these people in this church, if this reporting that I saw was true, and more will come out, obviously, because this just happened hours ago, was that people's first instinct was to go help. Like, someone's in trouble, they hit, lost control of the car, something happened, medical incident, whatever, and they hit the wall, they need help. And that wasn't the case at all. Guy opened fire, shot 10 people, then set the place on fire. And well, I should say, let me back up. I don't have, and again, there's a press conference. I mean, it's a Sunday night, 5 minutes, but I'm not going to stop what we're doing for that. People can go and watch all that for themselves when they watch this. And by the time they watch this, there'll be a lot more out. But let me back up and say, I say set the fire. I don't know how the fire started. Could have just been from the truck itself going into the wall. So let me just clarify that. Hit electrical in the wall and knock. Who knows? Anyways, but he eventually was taken down and shot and killed by police, is my understanding. So it's just, I go back to what happened at the church in Minnesota, the school in Minnesota, where those those young kids, those children were killed, shot and killed. And I know I get it already, but I'll get grief for saying this now. I don't give a damn. I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated. I'm pissed. People will immediately bring up, and it happened in the press conferences and all this stuff. It happens all the time. The thoughts and prayers. That's great. I'm not a religious person, but if you are, great. Do that. Awesome. But that's not enough. It's not working because you're talking about a church. People were already in there praying. And
it's getting worse.
And they did the right thing by going out to help someone they thought was in trouble. And it doesn't matter when there's this kind of evil in the world. And it doesn't matter, as we've talked about, the politics of it don't matter. You can have a psychotic on the right, a psychotic on the left, psychotic down the middle. If you're a nutcase, you're a nutcase. And if you give them a gun, they're going to do something.
It's a sad thing right now where this kind of thing will happen, and instead of any other option they could talk about, they immediately go to, were they Republican or Democrat?
That's the first thing. Was he a MAGA? And of course, he had American flags hanging in the back of his truck. So he's like, again, I've said it before. I don't care. I feel like I do need to preface these just to prove my point. I am very much a liberal, and the more that goes on, I feel like I'm more liberal than I was the day before. But it doesn't change the fact.
It's a very busy weekend for protests and stuff too. I don't know if you've seen that.
It doesn't matter if you're a conservative, a liberal, a down the middle, whatever you are. Evil is evil. And there's evil on both sides. That's been proven over and over again. Now, an argument could be made maybe that leans one side more than another. But I also think at times that teeter totters.
I also worry about stuff that comes out.
If anybody remembers what a teeter totter is at this point,
I can't make an old joke. I remember very well. And I'm so heavy now. If I teeter totter with anybody, that's no longer a teeter totter. It's a catapult.
Yeah. But no, they won't get you down. They won't get you in here to begin with.
No, it's just gonna be someone's dangling feet. But, it's a thing right now where it's like, honestly, I hear and like, the immediate things. The one thing I'm not doing anymore is I'm not listening to anything that comes out right away and all the information they have out right away on somebody. It's traditionally wrong. Our FBI director how many times is he walking back on things? And
no, his problem is he won't.
Well, yeah. Well, there's the articles are walking back, I should say.
Yeah, it's
and I'm not. It's like you said, it doesn't matter
Yeah, it doesn't.
what side of the political line they're on, because at the end of the day, people are dead. And even worse, it's when it's, and I can't say even worse, I guess it's a crazy thing to say.
No, I know. I know where you're
But
going.
it's innocent people that are dying.
Children.
Yeah, and children, and even adults, children, everybody. They're just people that are just living their lives, and whether you agree with their politics or their religion or whatever the case may be, and it's sad that we have to keep saying this, but they don't deserve to die. And when they're doing this, and like these people were Mormons in Michigan, right? The Michigan one was Mormons, and the more this happens, there's going to be people now that want to retaliate. And this is where the build is. And this honestly might be why we're seeing it escalate even more frequently than we're used to here. Like if it's to the point where we're saying it's more than usual, that's crazy in this country.
Well, I think here's the problem with that. I can't even tell if it's more or not. I think we're hearing over the last however many years of social media being king, we hear about it more. But even this year, it feels like there's more. But I just think people are, and again, nothing's being done about it, but enough people are getting fed up that they're now, as I did a minute ago, listing what's going on. So it feels like more because you have the list of them. I mean, like I said, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that this guy posted within the last 36 hours.
And that's,
but I'm sure there's more. Those are just the ones that were like 4 or more people.
We're very known for gun crime in this, but like it's not even just like a one person shot this one person. It's numerous people.
Yeah, so far this year, and I haven't gone super deep into this yet, but as of September 28th, it says there's been 11,041 gun deaths in the United States. I don't know if I'll have to find while we're talking a little more accurate number. In 2003, there was 47,000.
Mm-hmm.
The number that gets me is children/teenagers from 17 years old and younger so far this year, 133.
Nearly a
now,
thousand. I mean,
I understand we're in a country of 300 and something million or whatever we're at this point, and some absolute pieces of garbage out there will be like, well, it's less than 1,000 among 300 something million. One is too many.
Yeah,
so shut your fucking mouth.
Like that, the crazy that they have a justification for it.
People try and justify it all the time, and it's absolutely insane. And here we are today again with another church. Again, not religious, doesn't matter. That's a place people go to feel safe and to worship and to be together in a community. That's a safe space, like the very definition of a safe space.
Yeah.
Like a school.
Yep. It's and I just looked it up. I looked up to see if it was more this year, and it is declining, believe it or not. But I think you're right. Just about people are talking about a peak year was 2021 during COVID, where the violent gun crimes are happening. But I even reading that, I'm just like, I don't remember hearing about it as much as this. And social media was just as big then as it is now.
Well, I hate to even ask this question, and neither of us know the answer to this question, but I hate to even ask. Is it because we're so apathetic to it these days, which is a horrible thing to even think, that are we not counting them all because some just don't feel like they're worthy of being counted?
We are absolutely apathetic. You know what the crazy, like I said, the fact that somebody can get shot and there's a group of people celebrating and there's another group of people that their first reaction is to defend whatever happened goes to show that we're not focused on the lives of human beings. They're focused on how they can be represented in the case. And even if it has nothing to do with them, it's insane to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't get it. It's mind numbing.
It is
mind numbing.
And it's a very sad state and sad place to be in when you're thinking about it, because it's, again, 1997 was the case of Becky, and it was schools, and now it's schools, but it's everywhere.
So on the, and this is gunviolencearchive.org. And again, I don't know anything about this website. It's clearly an organization to try and, well, one of the things they do is count the deaths. And just today, September 28th, as we're recording this, there have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 deaths because of gun violence. And that includes what happened in Eagle Pass, Texas, that I mentioned earlier, what happened at Grand Blanc, Michigan. The rest of them are single. Oh, wait, there's another one. Oh, yeah, the Louisiana one, Bourbon Street. There were 3 injured, 1 killed.
Was that today, or does that mean it was like after midnight?
I mean, it's Bourbon Street. It could have very easily been. But that's just today. There's 12 deaths and 13, 14, 16 injured. Suspects killed 1. Suspects injured 1. Suspects arrested. This is the bigger number, 3. Again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the validity of these numbers. I'm looking at yesterday, September 27th, and I have to go to the next page to get them all. And so there's a lot yesterday as well, and the day before, and the day before, and on and on and on and on. So when I hear 11,000 for this year, to me, that based on the fact that, like I said, there was what did I say, 47,000 or something? Yeah, 47,000 in 2023, and there's only 11,000 listed this year. I question that number for sure.
That's what I saw too, I think, on it, but
there have also been just this year alone, and this is one of those mind-numbing numbers. We're approaching October, so there's still a couple months left in this year. 24 mass shootings, resulting in 10 mass murders. Like, someone posted the other day, is like, can we now, and it was someone from the Grand Blanc community, and this will always happen from people in the community, similar messages, but it's like, can we talk about gun control now? I wanted to respond with, well, no, we can't, because no one's listening. So what, save your breath. Like, no, we're not going to do it. No one's listening. And again, I don't like guns. I'm very clear about that. I have friends that have mini guns, and more power to them. I'm not trying to take those away from you. And that's the whole thing. People think someone like me is, and I'm not. I'm not trying to take your guns away from you.
I don't even think that's the majority of the argument.
No, but I want to make them harder to get. But I'm not trying to take away what you have, and I definitely want more scrutiny for sure when it comes to wanting to purchase a weapon, because far too many of these, frankly, and we don't know the end result of the ones I've mentioned today, but we do know about the ones that have happened just recently because we've talked about them. Almost every one of them has been from a legally obtained weapon.
Yep. And by no means should I be allowed to walk into a place and say I want to buy a gun and walk out with a gun the same day.
Yeah.
Even if I already have one.
Yeah.
I need to be rechecked every time. And, and if people are so much against that, what are they hiding? So
I think the best thing I ever heard, and again, it comes from one of my favorite TV shows of all time that definitely people on the right don't like, but I don't really give a shit. The West Wing. And one of the guys, they were having discussions about guns on the West Wing because they kind of covered everything on that show. They did a great job of it. But the one guy who's a conservative is looking at the Democratic White House saying, you know what I've never understood? Why all of you that don't like guns don't join the NRA. Because all it would take is all of you to join the NRA, and you'd shut it down within a day because you would outnumber the amount of people in the NRA, and you would have the votes to shut it down.
That's a very good point.
Like,
yeah. I mean, so I looked up the numbers, and this is just like when I go on Google, the AI overview. So it's hopefully a non-biased thing, but however we learn, there's who knows.
By the way, to interrupt you this time, we talked about this earlier because we are both fans of Agenda Free TV. And if you haven't watched Agenda Free TV, anytime there's a major event happening at all, including right now, in fact, I bet he's still on because that press conference is probably happening.
This guy deserves every subscription and every bit of donation he gets when he goes live, because this guy works his ass off.
He has been on for close to 9 or 10 hours today.
And that's not uncommon.
No, because he originally jumped on, and he's talked about this today. He originally got on air to discuss what happened in North Carolina last night and cover that. And before he could even start the show, the Michigan thing happened. And so he's been on that. Yeah, like the press conference is happening. But yeah, Steve Lookner from, if you want, it's hard to even call it news because he presents things, but he doesn't present it without the facts being there. He'll even tell you, I can't post that until I know, and he'll do it from both sides. He'll show something from Fox. He'll show something from CNN. He's just trying to provide the news unbiased. Just get it there for people to see. And anyway, so yeah, where I was going with that is, it's one of the hardest things, and this was a discussion in my journalism classes as I went through finally getting my degree, was where do you go for news? Where do you go? Yeah. Everybody's biased. There's no question. I've said on here, I've been a CNN guy as long as I can remember. I know they're biased. I'd like to think I'm smart enough to see when they're being overly biased and be like, all right, let's settle down.
Yeah.
But they're biased. I get it. They are 100%. Just as Fox News is, just as MSNBC is, all of them. They all have their bias because it's human nature to do so. And even being a news person, it's very, very difficult to not have that bias. The problem I have, and I know I've cut you off and really got on a steamroll here. The problem I have as a journalist is the worst thing I hear from every single one of these journalists, and we can do it here because it's a podcast. We're giving opinions. We're doing all that. When you get on all of these news shows, doesn't matter what network you're on, when the first thing the anchor says is, I think, well, then you've already lost the plot. When those are the first two words out of their mouth, you've already lost the plot because that's not news anymore because they're giving their thought. They're supposed to be offering news, saying this is what happened, not I think, then we're done.
Yeah, not your opinions. No, and I mean it's relevant because I went on this thing and it's like it's the AI overview. You know, when you Google something now, the big thing is the AI overview. Yeah. So I all I did is I Googled in here number of deaths by gun, non-suicide 2025.
That's where I did. That's where I got my info.
Okay, so the same thing because it says as of July 2025, there was 44,000 deaths by firearms.
Okay, hold on.
On my one. And in 2024 is 44,672, but this is July 2025.
So my search literally was how many gun deaths so far in 2025, and I didn't care. It could have included suicide, just gun deaths in general. Because again, to me, if you've got access to a gun, that's
no. Suicide. I was looking for more of the like violent.
But what I'm saying is mine said as of September 28th, there have been 11,041 gun deaths in the United States, according to the gun yours. Well, here, no, we'll just do this. We know how to do this now.
Yeah, but I'm on my phone.
Oh, well, I was going to share the screen.
Oh yeah. I screenshot it on my phone. And this is kind of the point.
I'm not on my phone though. That's the thing.
Oh, that's right. I don't know how to screenshot it.
I'll just do this. It's easy.
But like this is the exact point. We're both Googling and we're on Google the AI overview. Very different than you're probably not gonna be able to see mine really, but
hang on. Well, give me a second. I'll get out of that. No, but again, we essentially Googled roughly the same thing, maybe a few words slightly different.
30,000
difference. This is why I say we're like, obviously, I'm not going to rely heavily on AI overview, which is why I scrolled down to the actual gun violence archive. The problem is you go to this. Well, I didn't click on all of the.
But that's the problem is if that's the first thing people are seeing.
Well, yeah, exactly. 100. Yes, exactly.
And then there was also the report that came out about how Google had admitted to like hiding things during the Biden administration. And like Google is just like where you look stuff up. It's Fox, it's CNN, it's everything wrapped up into one. But it just goes to show you that there's powers that be. And let me tell you, it's the gun violence. And then the other thing that's happening, and I'm going to kind of go off on a little tangent here. But it's the other thing that happened. Everyone's talking about Kimmel that was suspended and he came back, but a lot of places are still like, no, because they're afraid of the FCC and Trump and everything. But the fact of the matter is like it still happened. And everyone wants to sit there and be like, my freedom of speech. Now, first of all, my favorite thing is people are like, I have a freedom of speech. I can say what I want. They don't realize that means like you can express your opinion about the government and not be penalized for it. Yeah, people think that they can go and say whatever they want because they're dumb and they don't really know how that works. But Kimmel was shut down. We lost Colbert, and there's a lot of other people that our president himself has tweeted saying, shut these people down. And this is exactly a violation of the First Amendment. I don't even want Fox News shut down because it's their right. It's their freedom to do it. And all these news stations, which I'm kind of fed up with all of them anymore. But like, I don't want anybody shut down because I thought about it because this will affect us. What we're doing right now is exercising our free speech because we have an opinion. I know I'm frozen on my side here. It's been doing it on both sides. So hopefully in the final, it won't be that way. If it happens too much, we're going to have to redo this whole damn thing. But anyway, this could affect us. This could affect anybody who has a podcast, anybody who speaks their opinion on TikTok or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. While some people are like, haha, yeah, shut him down. Don't be so naive. Because if they're going to go after these big news people, you're a much easier target.
That's exactly, yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's exactly it. Like, this is always, and for not even just free speech, anything that's going on. Yeah.
And we're not political people. Like we've tapped into it a couple times only because of the events in the world right now.
You can't avoid it.
But we can't avoid it. Like I hate to say happier. Like I felt like we've really done something good by talking to these people that are dealing with real life issues, whether it's their health, things like Kim trying to promote a product and being in the military, and like when we talked to Tanner, like that episode still resonates with me because it was so unexpected. And then in all the other things, like those things, it means a lot. And I was so glad. And I was talking to somebody about, me and my buddy started a podcast this summer because we were looking to kind of just have fun and kill time. Never realized the amount of people we were going to be talking to with real life and real world things going on. So, but yeah, we're going to cut each other off a lot.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I think it's, the frustration I have, and that this isn't a new thing. This has been a thing my whole life that I've said, like when you've got one side saying, do this, do this, do this when you're in power and go after your enemies. Don't get pissed off when the other side does it right back to you. And that's what's happening. And then the other part of this, you mentioned what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel, what's going on with Stephen Colbert, and so many others. And so many people. And this is why we talked about it, when we discussed, we discussed the Charlie Kirk situation, which is still just horrific. But we were, at least I was, I'm not going to speak for you. I was obviously very hesitant to speak about it because anybody that spoke, especially in the aftermath, like we did, because it was really soon after that we did our show and talked about it. So many people lost their jobs because they would either go on the social media and just say something, even if it was innocuous. Some probably, I was about to say they deserved it. Still don't necessarily think that you deserve to lose your job unless you just say something completely horrific about it. But if you don't like the guy, you don't like the guy. You don't, celebrating his death is the most disgusting thing. And I didn't like the guy. Not celebrating his death. He should be alive. He should be here right now to continue to debate, whether I agree with him or not. As we talked about, get that fly. But you talked about the First Amendment stuff. My big issue, and I was about to say something that was going to be too generic or too general, and I don't want to do that. But a lot of the people who want to argue that that these people should be off the air, essentially taking away their First Amendment rights, are the same one who will live and die by the Second Amendment. You can't have it both ways.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing is it went from people saying you got to defend the Constitution, you have to defend all this, but now they're the ones saying, you can make changes.
Yeah.
And
I saw some funny ones too, where people didn't realize you could actually change the Constitution.
I mean, I think everybody needs a trip. I think everybody needs a trip to DC with a guided
Kind
tour.
of the whole point.
Yeah, and also that's why they're called amendments. But like, I think everybody needs a trip to DC, and you need to go and look at our Bill of Rights, and need to go and see the Declaration of Independence. You need to go and see these things that are held in a case, because honestly, and it's a free trip through the museum, and it's kind of an awesome thing. And everybody knows I'm a history junkie.
Is that stuff still in the museum?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage brought it back.
Does it fit the current agenda, the stuff that's getting removed from the museum?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while, but
God forbid we have the Bill of Rights in there.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why they're keeping it in there, just to make sure. But yeah, it's one of those things where you can't change your mind every other day.
There's no way the Magna Carta is still lying around somewhere at this point, right?
Yeah, no, that fell away with the Epstein files, but
God,
but
open up that can of worms.
Well, no, now the big thing is Amelia Earhart. I'm sure you saw that.
Oh God, yes.
So but yeah, it's a time in the world where people remember social studies in school.
I do. I don't think many people do at this point.
In government, people should have paid a lot more attention. Let me tell you. And this is where I realized how fortunate I am. In high school, my government teacher was a guy named Mr. Murphy. He has not recently, but since passed, he had colon cancer. He was the teacher in my school that there wasn't a student that didn't like him. He was the most caring and just like open person. He wanted everybody to do well. I'm not sure he ever failed anybody. Kind of that kind of guy. Like, he's one of those teachers where I didn't think I was learning anything. And years later, I was like, oh, yeah. Like, he's one of those very special and unique teachers. And I know anybody who watches this and went to high school with will agree. He was that kind of teacher. And like social studies, I mean, everybody takes growing up. I mean, that's just kind of where you start learning the basis of it. This is why this kind of stuff is important. Do you need to go to college to be a successful person in life? No. Do you need grade school, junior high, and high school to have a basic understanding of how not to be an idiot in your later life? Yes. And not everything's learned in school. There's a lot of things you need to bring back to school, but this is the time where you're like, you should have paid attention.
Yeah, it's just basics.
It's basic stuff.
Yeah, just the basics. Yeah.
And you know, it's showing. The ignorance is showing, the hate is showing. Some reason people now feel hatred is okay. And
well, it's been made to feel okay. Unfortunately, over the last, since I would say 2016, but a little bit before that.
But even more recently, the Louis Mangione guy.
Yeah.
People hailed him as like a hero for what he did.
That's the thing. Yeah. He's hailed as a hero for assassinating someone on the sidewalk in New York City.
Pure daylight.
I don't give a shit. Again, it's the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't give a shit if this was the worst freaking guy on the planet as far as an insurance dude or whatever the hell that guy was.
And there's a healthcare guy. And let me tell you, I'm as mad as anybody, healthcare people, because
100%.
Because it's not right. People are losing their credit and losing their homes and losing things because they can't pay bills to stay alive. But now this little pompous asshole comes out and does what he does, and instead of everyone going, whoa, he shouldn't have done that, like that's too far, everyone's like, yeah. And I'm like,
the guy was getting like within 24 hours was getting like marriage proposals and shit.
Oh my
like,
God.
What the hell is wrong with us?
Everything. That's the thing. Everything. And you know, it's just I hate getting kind of speechless and saying it's and drifting off. I'm just really at a loss of words for a lot of it.
Point. Yeah, you get to that point for sure. And that's why I go back to the one I mentioned a minute ago when the woman was who posted on Twitter, like, can we start talking about, gun control or whatever now? And that's why I said, well, no, we can't, because no one's listening. Don't, save your breath, work on something else. Like,
you know when someone's going to listen is when something happens directly to them.
Well, that's the only time it ever happens.
Unfortunately. That's such a selfish standpoint.
Then there's the other side of it where it's something happens to them, so now they feel they need to arm themselves even more. It's not, they don't go the other direction where, okay, maybe we need to start taking, taking more drastic measures and who is able to have a weapon.
Yeah. I can't remember who.
Our friend, I'll bring this up, who's become arguably our most loyal listener at this point.
Talking about Sinbad?
Sinbad.
I love that guy. Sinbad, what's up, homie?
Yeah. And you forwarded me his email, and I won't get too deep into it because that's he
seems pretty in tune with what's going on.
Very much so.
Not just in his country, but even with stuff here. Like he's a pretty intelligent person.
Yeah, and by the way, what he sent to you is nothing no one's never heard before, and it's nothing that hasn't been used in this country as a rallying cry for how it can work. So yeah, he talks about Australian gun laws. Yeah, Australian gun laws. Oh, look, our buddy Jeremy's trying to call me right now. He doesn't.
Why he always calls when we're here?
I'm ignoring him. But no, he's talking about Australian gun law. And again, a lot of people already know this because anytime, like, Australia is the first one people go to in situations like this in this country. The people that are definitely, wanting to take guns away. And as I've said, I'm not trying to take guns away. I want it to make harder. As I said, and I kind of hinted at, I'm still not going to talk about it because I need to talk to others first before I'm, I am willing to talk about it, but I want to make sure others are willing to have me talk about it. But there is a family history here. But, he mentioned in 1996 there was a mass shooting where 35 people were shot. I don't recall off the top of my head, and he didn't say this here, if those were all 35 deaths or just 35 shot. Doesn't matter either way. 35 people were shot.
35 people.
And there was, for about a decade before, there was a string of mass shootings, as he mentioned here. And ironically enough, which again is not happening in this country, it was a very right-leaning government that said enough is enough, and they took the guns away. Again, I'm not trying to go to that extreme.
I don't even know how that would work.
Well, no, at this point, that's always the terrible argument. Take the guns away. Good luck.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
In all fairness,
that's
dude,
the dumb argument to begin with.
The comical part about that whole thing is I love when people are like, you try and take my guns away. It's like, I'm sorry. Do you think you're going to defeat the United States military when they come beating down your door?
Well, and to add to that, when you're really in that situation, are you really got the nuts to do it?
Hey, they play Call of Duty, man. They're real soldiers.
Like, come on. And that's another one of my arguments. Like, you have that gun, but if someone's breaking your house, do you really have the balls to do that?
There's so many comedians that have made jokes about this very situation, and I almost want to find all of them as soon as we're done here.
Yeah. Speaking of Australians, but I just, and again, that's the Australia argument in this country just doesn't work, as we know.
It doesn't. It's awesome. They did it.
It's a non-starter. I mean, it's another reason why I'd love to go to Australia. But
no, you can't anymore. Sorry for this tangent, but I found this out today, and I'm sorry, Australia.
What do they have? Spiders at the border?
They're worse. It's worse. So they have the most lethal spider on the planet, the orb weave spider, that usually is about 4 inches long or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They found a new version of that that's double the size.
Oh, hell no.
So listen, Australia.
Look,
get your 8K cameras ready and film.
Sinbad, this shit ain't happening, man.
It is.
Come on, you guys. I know we take a lot of grief from the Australians about our spider conversation, and probably rightfully so. But at the same time, I don't give a damn. I don't want anything.
We're right.
I don't give a damn.
We are right because
we are right. Yeah.
I mean, we got some scary stuff too. Like I saw a thing today about that.
Yeah, we have a lot of guns.
But yeah, but have you seen the caterpillar here? It's like the most poisonous caterpillar, and it looks like a big fluffy thing.
I thought it was millipedes that are bad.
Millipedes are bad, but there's a caterpillar that's super venomous in North Carolina. There's a lot, but yeah, Australia. It's awesome. Australia was able to do that.
It's just not realistic.
Do that here, and I honestly don't want it to happen here because
no, I don't want it. It's first of all, it's not realistic to happen, and second of all, I'm with you. I don't want it to happen. I just want it. I do want it to be more regulated. I do want it to be harder to get a gun, and I know this is a freaking wet dream, if you want to call it that. I know that sounds creepy, but I would not, and this will never happen. That's why I'm saying it's just stupid. I would not be upset if even people that are current gun owners have to go through a process, even if it's just the one time, just like to start things off, go through a one-time thing, do it online. You don't have to go anywhere. Just do it online, make it free so they don't have to pay for shit. Just go on and fill out something, do whatever, however you want to do it. I don't care. Just make sure, and again, this is impossible, so I don't even know why I'm saying it. Because guns are always going to be.
Here's the thing, Cookie, to argue in the positive way, there's a lot of things that need to be done. And until it's like what's the old expression about throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. You really kind of have to do that. And you have to do that because maybe someday someone's going to be like, he laughed at himself, but
yeah,
the issue. Idea.
But, and I think there's a ton of good ideas out there. There's been a lot of good ideas out there for a very long time. But the problem is none of them are going to stick as long as the lobbyists are throwing money around the way they are.
Let me tell you, the idea I told to Kim, I was really pleased with the idea. It'll just never happen, and it benefits everything. And we'll get into that when we talk about Kim's thing.
I think at this point that might be next week's episode.
Well, then let me tell you the idea now. So I was talking to Kim.
Yes.
And this, because this actually goes into gun control.
Yeah, it probably works better here.
Yeah. So I was talking to Kim, and when I was talking to Kim, she was telling me about how for a lot of times with training, they have to go out and do their training where they actually shoot blanks and stuff like that. Well, a lot of times they're told they can't do that part of training because they don't have the budget. And I never knew that basically the military will hold off on certain trainings because of budget stuff. I just figured because we have a whatever $1 trillion payment going to our military. I just figured they have to go train with shooting. Here's your blanks. Here's your bullets. It's never an issue. I didn't realize that sometimes they can't. I asked her, is it just for reservists? She's like, no, it's everybody.
I believe it. Yeah.
And so, and it's one of those things that, it's just one of those things though you just don't think about. Like you think military and you just think there's bombs and bullets everywhere. So my idea that actually kind of helps a little bit with gun control, but it also helps the military. And it's another one of those things just like there's no way it would happen because of the uproar. But this way, we're not taking anybody's guns away. You're not making any more restrictions. But one thing you could do to kind of cut down on what's happening with bullets for civilian life and to benefit the military is I looked it up. I think a box of 250 rounds for 9mm bullets is like $60 for whatever company.
I would have thought it was more than that, but yeah, sorry.
So basically what you do is the federal government can impose a tax on these bullets where it increases the price from 60 to 120 to 180.
Hey, as a former tobacco chewer, I dip tobacco. They tax the hell out of tobacco.
That was my exact argument because they've done it with cigarettes and chewing tobacco of how much money it is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is if you're spending $120 to $200 on a box of bullets, you're not going to be so eager to go out and just start shooting. And people are going to be a lot more cautious about what they're squeezing the trigger on. But at the same time, while maybe the companies make the exact same amount of money they were before, that extra $120 to $180, whatever it is, goes straight to the military to help increase their budgets to pay for more stuff for them. Because let me tell you, if there's anybody I want shooting more bullets to be more trained, it's our military. Because the other great point Kim brought up is while we were in Afghanistan, while it was good we pulled our soldiers out, they were constantly fighting, so those soldiers were constantly battle ready. And now they're just sitting around getting fat. It's almost like that scene in Gladiator when he's you're fat and bored. And so now if something were to pop off in Poland and in Eastern Europe, we're going to be sending a bunch of soldiers that have zero experience and zero combat experience, or people that haven't seen any kind of combat in years. And so it's let's bring up the Teeter Totter again. Or we could call it a scale like adults. It's the good and bad take. Like we pulled our soldiers out of Afghanistan, great. But a scale, like a weight scale. You had a weird face and then you froze on it.
Yeah, why are we going all adult on this?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. That was my fault. But
all these are very adult topics, but we can at least have some.
I didn't even realize that's what the hang up was.
No,
But
it's very adult topics, but we got to have some
yeah,
childlike
I
stuff
mean,
in
it
it.
is still
Teeter
us.
Totters.
But yeah, so we pulled our soldiers out of Afghanistan. Granted, the takeover back to everything over there happened almost right away, but we had people ready to fight. And while I have opinions on a lot of things, like you want the people who are, especially now, our military is completely volunteer. So you want those people to be ready, and you want them to be best prepared to help protect theirs and our lives, or the lives of people in our allied countries. And the fact that I'm finding out, it's like, yeah, they go and they can't even like do their shooting drills. Or she even said sometimes what they have to do is they have to go around and basically like they make a joke going pew pew at each other, like making the noise with their mouth. And I'm just like, how on earth are we in that position?
The supposed most powerful military ever made on this planet is doing
pew pew.
Doing pew pew.
Now, I will say this as well. I don't know if this is full in the military, other military people. I'll share this to military people that I follow. Please confirm or deny. Me and Cookie aren't going to be like, we heard it. That's the way it is.
Well, I think what you'll find out is in some areas, what Kim is saying is true. In some areas, it's not. So this probably won't have anything to do with what the next topic is going to be that we're going to do today, but we've gone long enough on this and we can save it for the next one, which is good. But when you start getting rid of advisory committees on certain things, then I think we might see where some of that falls. But
that's what happens when you leave the decisions in the hands of people not doing the work.
Reality TV people. No, it's funny you mentioned the taxing of the ammo, because I have always, and I'm surprised it's taken me a while to remember this, but maybe I shouldn't be surprised because I'm an idiot. I'm 100% not against. I'm not trying to take people's guns away, anything like that. I've said that a bunch of times already. I am a believer in, while there may not be gun reform or whatever it is, I'm definitely in favor of making ammunition harder to come by, because you can't do shit with that gun if you don't have the bullet to put in it.
Yeah, and I mean, and especially, that's kind of what I was like with my thought process. I like
the tax idea is awesome. I love that idea.
Well, because it still helps benefit a different part.
There's a benefit to it. Yeah, you could still get your damn bullets or shells or whatever you're going to have, but you're also at the same time contributing to the military, which 99.9999% of the people who are buying guns, in addition to others like myself who doesn't buy guns, and you as well, are very much supporters of our military. I love our military. So if there's a way to continue to help them and fund them when people in higher powers want to take money away from them for reasons beyond imagination, well, there you go. There's a way to help fund it, because I'm sure we sell enough bullets in this country to fund quite a bit of military action.
Yeah, and
put it on the guns too. What the hell? What does it matter?
Well, I mean, again, because like the budget restrictions aren't just on ammunition. I mean, put it on everything that can benefit. Because I feel much safer with we both visited West Point. I've been to Annapolis. Those are just students. But let me tell you,
I don't want fucking Gomer Pyle. I want Chuck Norris.
You don't want Tanner Doty?
Jesus.
I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, you got to go there again. No, I don't want Gomer. I want Rambo. So give him the resources.
Yeah, give me Ron Swanson.
Jeez.
Hey man, that guy could do everything. But yeah, and again, hopefully it's the end result would hopefully to be just less use of it, which means less use of it just means less violent crimes that way. Granted, we have a list of other problems right now. I mean, you see the videos all the time, sucker punches and violence and fights and brawls and stabbings. It's like, it's out there, but the one that's the biggest hot button right now, and the one thing that is a controllable, is that when you put the right steps into place. Now, This is, again, we always say we want the engagement, we want people, but this is where I actually really, more than any time, would love to hear other people's opinions. And whatever side of the aisle you're on, like, what are your ideas? Like, put those into the comments, and let us know where you stand on this, because I don't know if anybody here, I mean, we obviously know of a couple people who have been affected by gun violence, and we already kind of know where they stand on it, but I want to hear about other people, because just because it hasn't happened to you, every parent in every school, what do they all say? Never thought it would happen to me. And unfortunately, I don't want anybody else to get to the point where it's like, I always thought, I hate that statement, I never thought it would happen to me. That means it's too late. And so it's time to start making better decisions, and it's time to start being smarter than just saying, lock the doors of school and put bulletproof windows in, which sadly we have to do now to protect the kids. So schools, get on that. Like, that's a one-time expense.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, the only word there's a lot of words I can use: disgusted and angered and frightened, but it's really just sad. It's just sad. That's all it is. I just don't know. I have said my entire adult life, wanted nothing more, from a personal side, not my professional side, from a personal side, to have a family, have kids of my own. And the older I get, the more I'm like, I'd still love to, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking that back. I'm not getting any younger, but at the same time, it's frightening to think about trying to raise kids.
It is. Like, I think about, I live in an apartment, and the school buses come up here, and you see the parents putting their kids on the school bus. And unfortunately, I see that, and I'm just like, let's hope there's not a bad day.
Yeah.
So
it's terrifying, man. It's terrifying.
It is. And it's something you just don't want. And it's something you don't want on your worst enemy.
Yeah.
And so, it sucks. This is already 26, 27 episodes we've done here, and this is already second time we're talking about this.
Kind of the third.
Yeah. Yeah, not including Becky's episode, the second time of random stuff. Yeah. But it's one of those things where, honestly, if, again, we don't have the hundreds of thousands of listeners, but if we have to keep talking about it to hopefully more and more people hearing about it and making them think, then I guess that's kind of I dare I say, privilege of having a platform where we are talking.
Yeah, and we've talked about it too. Even if it's just that one person, it's all that matters. I will say this: you mentioned, and I'm 100% agree. Like, we want the feedback, we want the dialogue, we want the conversation. Keep it civil. We're gonna have people probably commenting on both sides of this. Keep it civil with us. Keep it civil with each other. Just have the dialogue. We talked about that exact thing. Have the conversation. You can't be afraid to have the conversation. But if you're not going to keep it civil, nothing good will ever come from it.
That's where the problems are, is from losing the civility of it all. And honestly, just talk about
humanity.
Yeah. Humanity. And I'll be honest with you, it's not on this much of a scale, but there's a bunch of people that recently I've started chatting with again, like old friends and acquaintances that I fell out with for likely ridiculous reasons and misunderstandings, and where instead of like in the moment having a real discussion, like, we fell out, and then finally I've gone back and said, hey, like, and just start a conversation again, and been able to be civil and talk to people again, and realize, like, we actually are a lot more alike than
we all are.
You'd expect. Yeah. And it's just like, you fall out for dumb reasons. And like I said, these aren't violent things, but like, I have a couple of them are friends in England. My friend Robin over in England, he infuriates me with some of the things that he follows, but he's a great guy, and we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but it doesn't take away from he's a good person, genuinely wants the best of people. And my photographer friend Abby over there that I went and took pictures with when I was out there. Like, it's just like, I turned her into a real hockey fan. I've done my missionary work, but yeah, like, she goes out there and watches the Sheffield team all the time. She got season tickets now. So, but and we're both photographers, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's just like you have things in common. It's falling out and getting angry over silly things is ridiculous. And people that will take very small things and turn it into Michigan, Louisiana, North Carolina, they all start from something very controllable. They all start from something very avoidable, but they just let it build to that. And there's, I got to a point where I don't like the uncomfort of just not having good relationships with people for no reason. And so, and you know me, I'm a stubborn ass. So if I can come back and have conversations, I mean, I swung those barn doors open for that one, Cookie. I hope you comment.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
But again, my situation is very small in comparison. But those people, it all started from something small.
Yeah, and you kind of said it. The one thing, and it, in some ways, it sounds ridiculous to have to say it, and almost not demeaning, but I don't even know the word for it. But we have
the thing. It's like you get into this. I think it's hard to find a lot of these words because it's very like we see the benefit of doing it the right way. So it's hard to explain and say a word where it's like it already makes sense to me.
Well, you said the right way. This is where I was going with it, is we have, as you said, we have everyone, whether it's in this country or around the world, because you see it. I talk about the yes theory guys all the time, and they travel the world meeting all these people and all that. We are more alike than we are different in every way possible. Too. Yeah. We are more alike than we are different in every way possible. And that doesn't, I don't care if you're a AOC or Bernie Sanders style, liberal, almost socialist, or if you're a MAGA Republican. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We just have differences on how to do it. And that's to have happy, healthy lives, safe families, a quality income to where we're not killing ourselves to try and pay the bills. We all want that. We just have different theories on how to do it. And as as I said, and as you said as well, the problem is the civility in those arguments and those disagreements is gone.
Yeah.
And there's no,
I mean, it goes from 0 to 1,000,000 like that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying these are easy fixes, but it'd be a lot easier if people could just sit down and talk and come up with reasonable solutions that both sides can agree on. The problem is both sides can't agree on shit right now.
Yeah, like just find a way to walk parallel with somebody, and
again, we all want the same thing. We just have different ways of we think that should happen. That doesn't mean there's not a common ground in there. And why we can't find that common ground, I was about to say is beyond me, but it's not, because the almighty dollar gets in the way, and more than anything, I sadly, when it comes down to all this shit, that's top of the list.
Yeah, it's a money thing, and it's people's, like, a religion plays a big part of it. And I'm not at all speaking against religion. I'm just saying people will have their beliefs of religion, and they're like, this is it, it's final, and I am not willing to listen to your side of it.
Yeah, believe in, when it comes to the religion thing, because again, I'm not religious. I'm not going to speak for you, but I also do believe in plurality, which means, everything. Believe in everything. It's better than believing in absolutely nothing. But, plurality is important, to teach plurality, to have the respect for everybody's beliefs. But it just doesn't happen. And that's why we are where we are.
It doesn't. I'll be honest with you. Like like you said, you're not religious. I'm not religious. I wish that I did have a faith like that, but I also am glad I don't have a faith that makes me absolutely blind.
I question too much. I'm too questioning. I'm probably more skeptical. Definitely a cynic. Anybody that's watched this knows I'm cynical, but I'm definitely a skeptic, and I question too much to have any kind of belief in a specific religion, because I would just question the whole time. Which, if the right person's, whether it's a Christian minister or whatever it is, if the right guy's involved, he would probably love that, because that's a cool argument for him, is to have someone to question that and all that. But to me, at the end of the day, when it comes to religion, this is where people will hate me. I was like, it's a book. You're going off a book that some dude wrote a long time ago. A bunch of dudes wrote.
Yep. Like, if you're looking for someone to follow, I haven't seen him on TikTok in a while, but there's a guy named Dan McClellan. I think he's on Instagram as well. He's a scholar of the Bible. He was raised Mormon, but people present him with questions, or he'll react to videos all the time about things. And his thing is like, all right, let's hear it. And then he'll go into whatever the arguments and stuff are. And at first I was like, great, another one of these guys. But honestly, I've learned a ton from watching his stuff. And he's very non-biased. Like, it doesn't matter what religion you are. He will explain what he knows of that. But he also has his PhD in this, but also in many religions. Like, he actually can thoroughly understand like ancient Hebrew language and whatever the languages that are in there. Yeah, like, and so he's great. If he's still on social media, I'll definitely link him. Cookie, definitely a guy for you to check out. I'll send you the stuff.
Yeah, no, one thing I know about the Bible, because I went to a Christian school for a little bit, is there's some really cool stories in there. Let's just be honest. There's some really cool stories.
I went to Catholic school, so
there's also really fucked up stuff in there.
Yeah.
Especially if you go back to the Old Testament, but you know, there's some really cool stories in there. The funniest part for me is some of the people in my life over the years that have known the Bible better than anybody from cover to cover are non-religious people. I have an atheist friend of mine that could probably recite the millions of pages of the Bible better than any practicing Catholic or Christian.
I tell you what, find a cynic with determination to win every argument. That guy right there, I guarantee you, knows everything inside and out.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say with the Catholic. I was raised Catholic, which I always like. I make two jokes about growing up Catholic, because I always say it's like putting in an express lane to atheism, but it's also like Catholicism is like the Mel Brooks version of religion. And it's like, I just remember even my mom made a joke about it. I go, Mom, why do I have to go to this Catholic school? She goes, so the teachers can beat you when I can't. And that like was like, ha ha ha. Then I grew up and I went to therapy and I was like, oh, that's really bad.
It's funny, but yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I was never an altar boy. I lived right across the street from my church, and my grade school was like not even 10 houses up the road from where I was. And but like, yeah, and then when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You're like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And all your friends go to that school. And then I started playing hockey, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't go to Catholic school?
Right.
What do you mean you don't have to wear a shirt and tie at school, and you didn't get your knuckles beat because you threw wet toilet paper at the ceiling? Like,
did you used to do the throwing the pencils into the ceiling tile?
Well, not at the Catholic school, because everything was like, kids don't have fun. But like, my school was like so old, it didn't even have tile like that in the classrooms.
Or the pencil wars.
Oh, the number 2 pencils?
Oh, dude, those were battles.
Yep. No, that was, I used to love that. Ticonderogas were the best pencils.
Number 2s.
Yep.
Speaking of bloody knuckles.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I would miss intentionally.
Oh yeah. Well, I sucked at it anyways. I never won, so I would go for violence.
I remember I went, yeah, exactly. I remember I was doing the pencil war with somebody, and it's a kid, his name was Isam Abdullah, and it was me and him, and he was like awesome at it. And this obviously was not Catholic school by the name. This was when I went to public school finally. But he was so good at it. And then after he beat me, he bullied me. And my like it ruined my like 3 days over pencil war, because I wasn't good at breaking a pencil with another pencil.
Yeah, I was terrible at it.
And I'm just like, and then he was just like, he goes, honestly, don't even buy pencils anymore. He's like, you're terrible at this. And I was just like, distraught.
And then people tried to cheat. They take the eraser out of the end and then flatten it, so it was like
flatten the metal part. Yep, and it was gonna saw through there.
That's just cheating.
Yeah. No, we all. I mean, we had inspections after a while. Like, we tried to really control the situation. Surprised we didn't have a commissioner for the whole thing.
Right.
For Gary Bettman got to start, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's funny we're talking about that, but even that was just like, it went from 0 to 1 million so fast in a pencil war, and we're no different. We're no different now, but the things we had in common, we wanted to do the pencil war. Like, we have these common grounds. We all have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Start listening twice as much as you talk. Coming from 2 guys hosting a podcast, that's weird.
And we sit here and joke about our time in school and pencil wars and throwing wet paper towels on the wall or throwing pencils to try and stick them in the ceiling. That was the shit we worried about.
I got in fist fights at school.
I never did that, but I mean,
there
were plenty around me. I just never.
Yeah, I got in a few of those, but again,
2 kids squaring off in a fist fight is different from someone walking in with a gun and opening up. to get back to the broader topic here.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
We didn't worry about that stuff. We worried about, you know, the dumb stuff.
And here's the crazy part is my mom used to worry about me because my mom knew I had a temper as a kid. And my mom worried about me fighting because I got one fight.
Everybody knows you have a temper.
No, I'm good now. I used to. You've seen both sides.
I'm gonna bring it out.
You've literally seen two different versions of me in the past. But you know, it's like I got in a fight. It was really bad.
Therapist is gonna hate me because I'm gonna bring it all back.
Yeah, are you kidding me? My therapist is gonna love you for this. But yeah, I got in a fight, and it was like a fight where we just got close together, and I went to bring a knee up and caught him in the face. And like his dad called my mom, like my mom's like, you could kill somebody doing that. No point did my mom say I'm mad at you for fighting, because the kid invited me to fight. And so like they had somebody trick me into going into the bathroom at the school. It was at Notre Dame Junior High School, and tricked me into going to this bathroom downstairs, and like everyone was there ready for it.
Interesting start to that story.
Yeah. That's a different video.
A whole different episode.
But yeah, everyone's like, yo, yeah, go down there. And I get down there, there's like a whole like circle of guys and girls all ready for the fight. And I'm like, oh, we're fighting? And then it just started happening. And
it was like the start of an after school special.
It was, I mean, that's kind of
how.
By
the way, those don't exist anymore.
Yeah, no. Well, keep in mind, where did we learn it from? Like that's how we learned how to organize a fight. And I think it all started because he said something and I said something back to him. And instead of just mouthing off to each other forever, we're like, let's just fight. And that was it.
You probably said something like, you're a doorknob and you're a goober, and that turned into a fight.
We weren't fighting either.
Oh, John.
I know, but I still won the fight. But anyway.
You're remembering it.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, because of that bad move I did. Like, we punched each other, and I'll be honest with you, neither of our punches affected each other. It was the knee to the nose that did it. And again, I was like, I never did that in a fight again in my whole life, because I was worried about the consequence of what it was. Punches in the face, sure. I've been punched in the face numerous times since then. Quick, Cookie, tell me how shocked you are. But
I mean, I've had my fair share, but those were all on the ice.
Yeah, I've had
never been a fight off the ice, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Actually, you probably can believe that, because as you know about me, I'm a psycho when I'm on the ice or at the rink and coaching, and when I'm
You're
not.
A pacifist.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty much a pacifist. When I'm not there, I'm like really chill and mellow, and like I just avoid conflict as best I can.
Not me, man. I used to seek it out, but again, that's kind of like we joke about the therapy thing, but that was all me figuring out how to deal with all this stuff I was going through. So I was like, I'm gonna go and fight. You know, that's the other joke about it. People are like, yeah, you were good at hockey because of that. Because like I wasn't a skill guy, I was a tough guy, and I'm like, that's terrible to think about. That's why I was.
I was an idiot on the ice. I was an absolute nut job when I played. I penalties galore and wanted to hit everything that moved.
Yeah,
and then I'd get off the ice. I'm like, oh no, we're good, man. We're good. I'm just gonna go sit over here.
Yeah, it's funny when you look back at it. You're like, why did I think? Yeah,
I was an idiot. I was an idiot. I think I told the story. You mentioned your social studies teacher that was so great, and I've mentioned my old history teacher who was also my hockey coach at Northwood, Brody.
Yeah.
Thomas Broderick, who's still a mentor. I love the guy to death. Would do anything for him, but even though he won't hire me. No, years ago, I went up to Northwood for my 10-year reunion, I think. So this would have been 20 years ago. Holy shit.
Hey, Cookie.
Wow.
What was it like taking like a stagecoach and a horse to school every day?
You're not that much younger, asshole.
I'm not, but I'm
he and I went and had a beer together up in Placid, and I finally looked at him. I said, how much of a pain in the ass was I? Like, because he couldn't really. I was like the one guy from a hockey standpoint, like off the ice, it was fine. But from a hockey standpoint, I was probably the one guy in his entire career he couldn't control because I was just an idiot.
Well, I mean, and you were pissed off a lot too because your injury and then having to go play JV and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but the JV thing actually worked out great because he was my coach. I think that was the best thing that ever happened was I had him as a coach.
Right, but you were still pissed about it happening initially.
Well, early on, but then I grew to realize that was the right spot for me. As much as you want to be a varsity player at Northwood, yes, but and the reality was I had the best person coaching me that I could have had.
By the way, Northwood, anybody at Northwood, why you won't hire Cookie is beyond me, because there's not a bigger advocate of that school. I grew up 3 hours from there. I've spent so much time there, and I barely talk about it. Cookie,
there's my Northwood mug,
is the biggest advocate for that school I've ever met in my life. So I don't know, like, honestly, it's ridiculous that you're not hiring them.
If you're not pulling this clip for us to post, I'm gonna be really mad.
Cookie's gonna pull it and just put it in 17 different hard drives.
Oh, I'm just gonna tag every single Northwood person on my friends list, including Brody, including John Spear, including Steve Reed. Who else do I have on?
Mike
Trevor
Ricker.
Gilligan. I'm just gonna name all the admins that are still there. Trevor Gilligan. Actually, the new school headmaster. Gino, he's on my friends list too. You're all getting tagged in this.
Yeah, here's the funny part is in high school, we played against Lake Placid in state finals, but not Northwood, just Lake Placid High School.
Yeah, because we didn't do like
you guys were
high school.
Yeah, you guys weren't public. But
it wasn't even just that. We didn't do like the high school schedule. We did like
it was kind of like a junior schedule or prep school.
Well, and our varsity played like college teams too.
Yeah, you guys did more of a prep school junior thing.
Yeah, and Canadian teams, and we had a kind of a weird,
because you're not under the same rules as everybody else. But
no, and it's very different now. There's a whole league they're in now, and all this stuff. This is not the sport.
And here's the funny part, Northwood. Very seldomly does Cookie actually talk when he's talking about Northwood. It's not even about the hockey; it's about the school and the area. Like, honestly, this guy should run. You should run for mayor of Lake Placid.
No.
Why? You're so into politics. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Look at my freeze face right now. There it is. Never mind.
Perfect. That was perfect.
I really hope we're able to air this episode, or it's just going to be our logo and our voices.
We're going to do it either way. Even if, like, when you're frozen, we're posting like graphics of like gun violence statistics.
No, I say we leave my dumb frozen face.
No, I'm all for that. Yeah.
But I think it's a Riverside thing tonight, because I can see my megabits upload and download. I think you know what? Cookie, forgive me for what I'm about to say. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you guys ruined Riverside. You made it too popular, and now everybody's here, and it's clogging up my Cookie quits.
Don't you ever sully the name.
Listen,
Taylor Swift or her soon-to-be husband.
Listen, Mr. Swift, you know I love those two, but
you know what I was thinking about the other day? He should change his last name.
100%. Travis Swift.
That's a sick name, actually.
They're both TS.
It's actually a sick name.
It is. It really is, especially if he still has a football career at that point.
Oh, no, he's going to retire after this year.
So, but
he needs to, anyways, and I love that guy, but he needs to retire.
I mean, he's fine.
He doesn't need to play anymore.
He can work security.
And then he and his brother are just going to go take over the world.
Honestly, it's so great.
It's so great. I shouldn't say I'm jealous of their podcast, because they were already superstars and celebrities. We're never getting that, but yeah. I want to have what they have, because it's just awesome. Like, dude, they had Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro on.
I saw that. And let me tell you, Benicio del Toro,
he's hilarious.
Dude, let me tell you, that guy's one of my favorites from Usual Suspects and from Snatch.
Snatch. We're going to do a reaction. We've both seen it. I've probably both seen it a million times. We just need to do a reaction video to Snatch. It's one of the greatest ever.
Here's how you have to do it. You have to do it with the subtitles for the Pikey only. I'm telling you, there's a part in there.
Brad Pitt being a Pikey. Come on.
It was amazing. And like, I think it's the only movie where Jason Statham is not a badass.
No, he's not even remotely.
No, he's actually kind of a doofus.
Yeah.
But like he's still tough, but that's compared to Tommy.
Yeah.
But like Snatch is so great. But they have,
you brought that up. I haven't thought about Snatch in a long time.
They have a version of that where you can watch the subtitles for the Pikey only. And to ruin a part of it, it's just so funny. Do you remember the very last Like, yeah, I say that all the time to this day. I actually quote that movie to this day far more than I care to admit. But the very last fight scene, when remember he was so wasted for the
Oh,
very
yeah.
last fight scene, there's a part in there where he starts saying something. The subtitles, when you have it for Pikey, only come up as question marks. They even couldn't figure out what it was. It's such a great touch for that. Oh God, it was so good.
That's awesome.
And then I also learned when I went to England, like I made a joke about pikeys, and my friend was like, "Don't say that word out loud here. That's like a real bad word here."
Oh, I just thought of something we need to do as we're getting way off topic, but that's normal for us. Although we've been good this episode. It took till the end before we kind of got off the rails a
This
little
is
bit.
the cool down.
This is the cool down. We need it after today's show. We need to get Sinbad or some of our other Australian friends to give us some ideas for. We need to do a reaction video to like Australian food.
I mean,
I know one that's going to be on there because you know damn well they're going to include Vegemite.
Oh yeah, well that's a big time British thing too.
Wait, no. There's a Australian version. Maybe it's not Vegemite. It's something else. It's similar though.
Oh,
but anyway,
think I do know what you're talking about, but I can't.
We need to do that, and we both get them, and then we'll come on and we'll like.
Well, like we're gonna try it.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. No,
I don't think we can. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can't get like, grilled kangaroo here. Although I hear that's actually really good.
No, so Davey, the guy I work with,
surprises me because there's not a lot of fat in kangaroo. They're like jacked.
Yeah, what is somebody said? They're kangaroo are like prison or deer that went to prison.
Yeah, they're badass.
But well, actually, there's two. There's kangaroo that are kind of normal, but then there's another version of kangaroo that we see with all the biceps and stuff like that. There's also. Did I send you the video where there's a kangaroo running on top of the water?
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't. Australia's absolute insanity.
Australia is insanity, and I can't wait to go.
Yeah. With these spiders.
Whatever. I'm
honestly,
starting to get over it.
I'm not. I have gone
literally there was a spider in my bathroom that was that big the other day, and I was using the restroom, and I had to take my sandal off. I was like slamming the freaking wall trying to kill it. It was this little bitty thing that probably
Cookie's got holes all throughout his bathroom.
Like, my shit. God, our Australian friends are just gonna rip us some more for these spiders. I don't care.
I think I can't remember where I was, but I told somebody, I'm like, if you hear a woman scream, that's just me seeing a spider. Like, never. Yeah. Cricky, you've known me for a long time now. I've never been shy about admitting how scared of spiders I am.
No, I'm same. I'm spiders. But I still say it's funny because when we were in New Mexico, the scorpions didn't really phase me too much. Those little clear things.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time
they were annoying because there was a million of them at one point.
And I wasn't killing them. I was actually like scooping them up to try and flush them or something.
Yeah.
And you said to me, like, do you know what those are? I'm like, yeah, they're scorpions. Like, you were shocked because technically they're arachnids. You were shocked that it wasn't phasing me. Like if I saw a single spider.
It didn't phase either of us. It's just spiders. Like the scorpions. Now, if I see a big, like one of those big black scorpions, that's gonna freak me the F out.
It's not even the same freak out as like if I saw a spider though. I'd just be like, holy crap. That
one might. But those little clear scorpions, man, which are actually not great.
People have black lights, and those are the ones that glow in the dark in New Mexico.
Why didn't we ever do that?
Because we didn't know.
Oh, because we didn't have any money. That's right.
Yeah, that too. We also didn't know. Yeah, people in New Mexico have like black lights on their walk paths.
Oh, okay.
So you could see them.
Yeah,
but that's what those ones. That's what those ones were. I didn't even know that was a thing till years later. Huh. And the money. And the money.
Yeah, you didn't have money. Couldn't afford light bulbs.
No, that's why we had billets.
Yeah. We're ending the show on that.
All right, bye. No, but the other, as we're going, the other thing is in the comments, like, since we've actually, like I said, we went from saying, hey, let's have some fun with this to actually talking about some real things. Tell us what you guys want to hear about. We'll do, for that kind of stuff, we will do research and talk about it, but, we'll just give our honest opinions on what we're seeing about it. And maybe it could be a good springboard to start the conversations that we keep talking about. And so, but, in the meantime, I guess the only thing you could do when it comes to what our initial topic was about is this is, if you're truly dedicated to helping the cause, this is why senators have phone numbers. Call your representatives, write them letters, write them emails, be persistent, be annoying, because you have to. If you're really certain about wanting to change and improve the situation of things, if we're not bugging them to do it, they're not going to do it.
Be as articulate as you can. Just don't be a prick saying you're an asshole. Why aren't we doing this?
Yeah,
Like
don't
they're not gonna pay attention to that.
No, don't verbally attack them. Like you
Go
know,
in with a coherent argument. Be as articulate as you can. Have facts to back up your argument. Just like anything, like anything else. If you went to high school or college, it's just like writing a paper. You got to be able to back up your fact.
Remember, these representatives, they're servants of the people. That is their job. They're here to serve the citizens.
They may forget that at times, but they are.
Yeah, let me tell you. But that is their main job. That is their main priority. So put it in the comments. We appreciate you listening. I hate to say stay safe, but you know, this day and age, stay safe. And we look forward to the next episode. The next episode will be on Friday. It will be our sports episode. I feel like Cookie's got something up his sleeve for that.
I do.
Well, you said you were talking about cricket.
Oh,
so I think it's time. I think it's time Cookie introduces me to cricket.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we'll probably do it Wednesday. I have a game Thursday.
I am off this week. The only thing I have Wednesday. Well, we can talk about this after. I've got Coach's show to record on Wednesday. So.
Oh yeah. I have a game Thursday, but we'll figure it out.
Don't forget, most important for us, like the video, comment on the video as we've been discussing, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends about our channel and have them come and see what we're all about.
Thank you to all the new people that subscribed lately. Yeah. That number has popped up good. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for watching the episodes.
Yeah, where are we right now, by the way? Well, I kind of want to know because I want to set a target. The goal is 1,000 subscribers. That's the big goal for us right now. And we'll, you know, as we get there, we'll go farther and farther, but
the goal's 1,000. I look forward to 700.
Yeah. 700 would be great, but the big goal for us, the real kind of milestone, if you will, for us is 1,000 subscribers.
Yep, absolutely. So
332 more subscribers. So tell your friends, tell everybody you know, friends, family, strangers. Tell them to head over to John A. McCreary's YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, and then find the All Angles podcast link in there. I mean, he's got a lot of other cool stuff on here. Although when he's doing the gaming stuff, he's just a nerd, so avoid that. But
there's going to be a lot more too. Like I've been trying to encourage Cookie to start recording more of his stuff he's doing on over there to put some videos together. We'll do some stuff here, and then eventually when we're on the road, you guys.
By the way, since you mentioned that, we're going to talk later. I have ideas for Wish Cup.
Yeah, we actually do got to talk about that. Thanks everybody for watching. I don't know what that was.
Bye.